Diaz Gunners Collective TV. Back at it? You already know. Like a motherfucking smack addict. Bye up. Bye up. And in my noodle style in direct fashion, we're going to get straight into the content of the day. But before we do, let's hit that like and subscribe button. Ding. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directed in the direction of the dope content I'm kicking. And I highly appreciate all the support, man. We're going up on this channel and it's all because of you. And for that, I can say I'm very humbled and I'm very much so appreciative. So Cholo Juan, he responded. He responded to a video that I did yesterday. And I was asking a simple question. And I didn't think this Vato was going to respond to me. I didn't think he watched me like that. But I suppose if someone's talking about you on the internet and they say your name, you know, the considerate thing to do, the respectful thing to do is to respond in like fashion, in a respectful fashion. I give him my utmost respect, not only for responding, but also the way he did it. You know, I understand it's a tricky, slippery slope when it comes to directing a response to me. And all that is because of the haters and people that indoctrinate you to believe that I'm something different than what you are. You might be good in the hood and you might be able to go function out there in the streets and everything, but I don't function on streets. I functions, you know, doing how I do it. And that's just the way it's going to be, man. I respect, you know, those that are active. I respect those that are still pushing that line and within their movement and still name is good in the hood. I can't do nothing but respect it. I'd be a hypocrite to hate. But at the end of the day, that doesn't mean I'm some pushover or some sucker just because I'm doing me and taking care of my family. And we'll leave it like that. So in this response, or yesterday's in my video, I asked a question. And I asked, because I wasn't too sure why Cholo Juan got jammed up over wearing a red paño. You know? And again, I wasn't aware of why he wore a red paño or why he wore the color red. And he answered that question simply by saying, hey, Gunner, basically, I wear red because I want to. Okay? That's like me. I wear blue because I want to. See, as a Mexicano, as a Chicano in California, colors have never been a thing. And Cholo Juan answered the question exactly the way I already knew the answer. I already knew just by watching the way he does his thing, that Vato moves and pushes the way he wants to. He does what he wants to do. You know, I see where he said in the beginning of his video, and I respect him for it. He said that Lefty Gunplay is holding the crown in the entertainment side for the Southern Carro, right? Basically, he's representing the South. He's the one right now whose voice is being heard. He's out there. He's popular. He's got the buzz. And if he could shout out Vatos like myself or Dubs or anyone else, right? And he said Dubs in this instance, not me, but Dubs. Then he could do what he wanted to do. You know, if Lefty could do it, then he could do it. And Dubs does get a lot of respect. And it's deserving. It's deserving because he's giving you clecha. Coming from someone who sat down for a long time and did that. I respect him. I listen to what he says. I've been listening to what he said even prior to me meeting him way a long time ago, because real recognizes real and steel sharpens steel. You understand if you've been incarcerated and locked up in the California system, you can separate the real from the very, really fake. Dubs over here, Wes Watson over there, right? And you recognize. And I think Cholo Juan recognizes that too. And a lot of other Vatos do as well. People like Lefty Gunplay, Cholo Juan, several others. But I ain't no fucking slouch myself. Okay? A lot of people from Southern California support me and show me a lot of love. And then there are those that are still in the game that feel some type of way about my politics and feel some type of way about me because of what other people have said about me. You know, and that's understandable. I ain't mad at it, but I'm just here to say, you know, I ain't the one. I ain't no sucker, man. A lot of these rumors and what people say, take it with a grain of salt. Now, I will say this, you know, I respect Cholo Juan for giving Dubs the respect, for giving me the respect of even responding. Because see, in the game, the way I was taught, most of the time, you know, you don't respond to Vatos that you feel are not on your level, or vatos that you feel don't exist to you. See, when most people that were from gangs, Mexicano gangs, I'm talking about, right? The North, the South, even Bulldogs, Latin Kings, gangs like that. When you step back, or you're pushed back, or you're removed, or you're no longer in the best standings, you know, regardless of what side you're on, we were always taught as Norteños to not even conform to the existence of that man anymore. You're cut off, Miklo, like my leg, right? You're cut off. But I always understood, and I'm going to keep it real. When I was active, I still functioned and talked to homeboys that were not in great standings. I still fucked with homeboys as long as they didn't have a sex case, they weren't testifying against people and doing all that shit. Hey, homie, you know, I ain't mad at you. If you want to go out there and raise your family and do your family thing, that's cool. I understand, homes. In fact, there's a lot of vatos that are envious of that. They just don't know how to go about it. Their pride is too strong to make that next move their best move, right? Again, I don't poison people. You do what you do in your own life. If you want to function, function. Do it right. If you want to talk your shit, talk your shit. There ain't no way to do that right? Real ones don't talk shit. They just do their thing. So, Cholo Juan, first and foremost, I'll say the vato's hilarious, right? I got to say that right off the top. Let's put politics and gang bullshit to the side, man. The vato's hilarious. The way he does his videos is classic, right? How he speaks in the third person's a trip. Definitely the Mexican Crip Mac. I'll say that, bro. You know, the vato's a little out there, but I like it and I respect it. And I see the entertainment value and I see the comedic flavor. And that's what I do too. So you know what? At the end of the day, my utmost respects for that. But he answered a question that I asked that I knew the answer to. See, I've told stories in the past. I was out there in Oxnard. I got a homeboy that lived out there for years in Oxnard. My homeboy was gang banged out, putting in that work. And he decided that for no other reason, he went on the run. But let me tell you what a real man does. He went on the run and he was functioning. And him and his old lady, she had family in Oxnard, Ventura, Oxnard, the 805. So they decided to pick up and move, get away. You know, he was running away from his warrants. They were running away from drama, not runners hiding from drama, right? They were going to make a better life. They were going to get a job. And he did that. And he was still functioning, but he was out there. He got a good holiday. His old lady went to school. She ended up getting a good holiday. They had children. And every time a homeboy from the water used to go on the run, or we needed to get the fuck out the way for a minute, we would slide down south to his pad. And it was all love. We weren't going over there gang banging. We weren't going over there trying to check fools. We weren't going over there trying to fucking display colors. We weren't doing none of that. We were going over there kicking it with our homie from our neighborhood that had done something better in his life. All of us respected that. And it got to a point where later on down the line, he actually, when he was finally ready, when he raised his kids 20 something years later, he said, you know what, I'm going to go back, homie, and go do my time. And because he did so good and he had changed his life, and because statute of limitations ran out, right, they fucking dropped these cases on him and he was able to live. He went back showing all the good he had did for the community and for himself, and they recognized that. And that's how that ended up for him. It doesn't mean he was in bad standings. He still wasn't a homie. He's still to this day active and righteous. You know, he still can go back to the hood and do his thing. But we had a lot of love. That is the only homeboy. Out of every homeboy that I have from my barrio, my neighborhood, that is the only homeboy that ever sent me a penny when I was locked up. I remember I still got the picture in my wallet. That's a fact. He sent me a picture of him and his familia at Disneyland. And he sent me the abuela. $10, right? And that $10 means more to me than a fucking $1 million, because a real one did that. Truth. Anyways, so he was in Oxnard. So I slid out to Oxnard. So by me being on the run and sliding out there, I met some chick that went to college with his old lady, her homegirl. I slid it to her pad. We were in Colonia Chiques. I've told the story. I threw on the Emmett jersey like fuck it, right? And I blended in. True stories. Okay, I always knew El Rio to wear Raiders jerseys. I knew South Oxnard to wear White Sox jerseys. I knew Colonia Chiques to wear Cowboy jerseys. That was the way that I identified who was who and what was what. I had never seen vatos wear red. So I already knew, but I just had to ask Cholo Juan, hey, does this clica or what's going on there? Because I never seen vatos like that flamed up in El Rio, right? And he fucking gave me the response. He answered that question. He said, I do it because I want to do it. And one of the things he said stood out to me, and it's the ultimate respect. And I have to tell him straight up, Cholo, I respect you on this one, eh? When he said he wears red because of the color of the Mexican flag, because of the sangre spilled by the Mexicano movement. That right there was some of the illest and realest shit I heard in a long time. That's real game. See, a lot of people don't think about it that way. They wonder why norteños wear red, for the blood and the sacrifice of the soldados before them. Some of the same things that vato said, you know, and he's from the southern side, not the other side. And he said that, right? I respect it. I respect the fact that the man stands on his own 2 feet and does what he does and pushes the way he wants to push. Will he get got at for it? Is there going to be individuals that feel some type of way? Well, we seen when he went on to fucking Haters World podcast, we seen vatos that were feeling some type of way about him wearing red. But again, like at the end of the day, he said, I wear red, homie, because I like the color, because to me it represents the raza, and because at the end of the day, Holmes, he's going to do what he wants to do and no one's going to tell him different. And he stands by that. He ain't turning down nothing. I respect it. Now, trip out. I went to the 805 area recently and I threw a red t-shirt on, right? And let me tell you about it. What he said is absolutely facts and truth. When he said most vatos that wear red, they think, hey, the vato don't even gangbang hang in the mix like that. Because they're expecting a vato bald-headed, Pendleton down, white tee, Ben Davises, Cortezes. Those are the type of vatos that basically got a neon sign over their head saying, hey, what up? Where you from? I'm active, right? Those are the vatos that are going to get approached. See, when you grow up, when you're my age, 46, and you're no longer in the mix like that, then you act and you dress accordingly. I know I dress a little young style. This is my stilo. This is just how I am. I'm in the pad. But you've seen the last couple days how I really rock when I'm out there on the calle is buttoned up, hat off, glasses, smooth, right? Looking like the Puerto Rican powerhouse, right? I'm out that motherfucker like, what's happening, right? You know, I'm in that motherfucker like Pitbull, like Daddy Yankee. I'm trying to get all the gasolina, right? Trying to get all the tortas. Different ways to rock out there in the community rather than just the comforts of your own home, okay? I did pull up to the 805 and I did put a red t-shirt on. And I'm going to be honest with you. I did it for 2 reasons. One reason is I didn't even fucking trip. I just bought the polo t-shirt at JCPenney's. It was nice. I threw it on. Red Lakers hat. Boom. There we go. I had the fucking bread Jordans on. I thought I was smooth, right? Not even tripping on Southern California. See, I didn't go down there to color bang. I went down there to kick it with the homie. I went down there to enjoy myself, eat, enjoy Southern California and the hospitalities that it presents, right? I didn't go to gangbang or disrespect anyone. That wasn't my intentions, right? Also, another reason why I chose to wear the color red, and this is, to be totally honest with you, is what Cholo Juan touched on. They're not tripping on vatos wearing red like that. It wasn't like I had Ben Davis on. Well, I did have some 501s creased up with baby cuffs, but you know what I'm saying? That's just what us older gentlemen from the 90s do, right? But I wasn't out there looking like a gang member. I was out there looking like a civilian is what I am and pushing that line. Okay? Gracias for Cholo Juan expressing that and putting that down and letting people know that in his neighborhood, in his area, like you said, in his area, they don't trip off colors. See, I said it in my video yesterday, bro. Mexicans don't give a fuck about the colors. It's all about, in Southern California, it's more about team apparel, jerseys. You know, certain jerseys represent certain spots. Like I know if I see vatos all wearing Rams jerseys, either they're fucking some straight up Kurt Warner fans or they're probably from MS, right? That's how it is, MS. If I see some vatos fucking, you know, sporting a whole bunch of Raiders in the 805, yeah, they're more than likely they rock over there in El Rio. Colonia Chiques, Cowboy, it's just different. San Fernando Valley, SF. You know, just different team apparel for different barrios, and that's how they do it. They do a lot of the same shit in the Fresno area. You'll see a lot of vatos wearing the St. Louis Cardinals. You know they're from Lewis Street. You know, you see a lot of vatos wearing certain things in Northern California. You know they're representing their hood. I've seen norteños wear blue rags. Maybe not the dark blue, but the teal, the aquamarine. They do that, right? I've seen a lot of different shit. So I've come to the assumption that colors don't mean shit to Mexicans. There's only the Mexican flag colors or the brown rag that means something to the Mexicans, right? Now, the blue and red, yes, those are colors that are displayed behind them walls and in certain areas, man, to let you know exactly what it is. And more so, I see Northerners doing it and upstaters doing it than anyone. And they do that to distinguish themselves from the other side. That's a fact. But don't get it twisted. You see a lot of Southerners wearing red. You see a lot of Northerners wearing blue. That's a fact. Okay, no one's tripping off fucking that shit. Straight up. And Cholo Juan definitely ain't. And I respect him. Now, I wanted to talk about the situation of him saying that he's going to do what he wants to do. And he's going to respond to whoever he wants to respond to. And shout out who he wants to shout out. Now, that's a tricky thing. That's a tricky thing, man. Because see, in the lifestyle we live, Mexicans, we hold ourselves to certain standards in the gang life. And it's fucking unfortunate that when someone politically gets done wrong or they choose to step back or quit gangbanging or whatever, that someone else from the other side will judge them. Okay? If a Southerner falls off or gets removed, I don't judge him because I'm not involved in his politics. I understand enough to know that there's a lot of fucking inner shit that goes on, a lot of backdooring, a lot of fucking culture. That's why I believe two things. The Southern raza, it's probably the hardest to do prison time for them because there's so many of them. There's so many heads that want to be that number one. There's a lot of bullshit that goes on behind the scenes with them. A lot of dirty macking. And I also believe that the Norteños have that struggle because of numbers and because, you know, the way that the administration treats them. They don't give them social status of equality. They don't treat them equal. They treat them less than. That's a fact. So I've always wondered, out of the two, who has it the worst in prison? And that depends on who you are and where you're at. But to be totally honest with you, I believe the Southerners within their own people probably have it the trickiest. Probably. Because there's so many of them. You know, that's why I heard Dubs tell a story the other day, and he said, man, if there was 150 Southerners, if you asked a couple Southsiders, you want to be on the yard with 150 or 40, they'll always say the 40. Because the 40, they're going to stick together strong. Less numbers equals more canalismo. When there's a whole bunch of heads, everyone's fighting over who's going to be the man. And that's where it gets tricky. That's where you have to step up or get stepped on. That's a fact. So Cholo Juan understands that. He's been incarcerated. He's been locked up, I'm sure. You know, and he says, you know, he's going to stand with his gente and his people. But he ain't really tripping off of, you know, what other people think. He's going to do what he does. And that's commendable and respectful because there hasn't been a lot of people to do that. You know, a lot of people will play the shenanigans in the games. I get so much hatred. Hey, you know, Gunner's no good, or Gunner's this, Gunner's the runner, and Gunner's this. And Vatos don't know me personally. They don't know what I've been through, the struggle, and exactly what it is. They judge and hate. And it's funny because a lot of the same Vatos that hate are in the same standings. They're not active. They're begging for buybacks or begging to cover up tattoos or doing what they're doing and telling people they're active and lying and manipulating and smutting someone else up and shitting on my name when at the same time, they're not good. Come on now, right? Doesn't mean I hate the Vato. Doesn't mean I'm trying to fucking slander him. I'm just keeping it real. You ain't good, homie. If I'm not good, you're worse because you're faking the funk. See, I'm not. See, I never have. I've always told everyone straight up, hey, look, this is what it is with me. I'm not active from day one. I'm not going to portray a role and I'm not doing that. You know, and I didn't have to tell anyone my business. I'm not obligated to tell anyone my business. This is me, but that's how I get down, right? And the reason I do that is because I want to be transparent. I don't want anyone to think, and I don't want anyone to be manipulated or later on come and say, hey, Gun, you fucking lied to me. I say you lied to me. I didn't lie. I didn't say shit. I don't even know you. Get off my lawn before I fucking spray you with the manguera. Straight up. And I give your old lady my manguera. Straight up. That's what I'm saying. Now, look, the truth is, I respect Cholo Juan. I respect his response. I didn't expect it. And thank you for answering the question on why he wears red. And again, I didn't think Del Rio wore red. I've never seen it. And I've been down there a gang of times. Look at Cholo Juan's probably like, this fucking puto been down here, eh? Right now. And look, I've been down there since, ¿sabes qué? I flew under the radar. I say, órale, go Raiders! El Rio! You know what I'm saying? I'll be wiggling out there fucking at the Vallarta. Vato, ¿sabes qué? You don't know. I be in and out and in. But I'm just going to say this. I respect the Vato. Make sure you guys tap in with Cholo Juan. Go show him some love. Thank you for responding, Holmes. That gave me the opportunity to respond back and say, you know, I commend you for being about yourself. And, you know, I'll never minimize this Vato and just because he's active. See, I've never been a hater like that. I used to see people that were non-active hate on the actives. Scream over them in Tracy prison over their shutdown and yell. And I never got down like that. I always said, you know, that's poop butt shit. How the fuck can you hate the people you once were a part of? How can you let that canalismo just wither away? I don't. I love my brown people, all sides. So I respect what everyone does. I'm going to call it as I sees it, but at the same time, I'm going to do it in a respectful fashion. I get hate because I'm real. I don't get hate because I'm real fake. I get hate because I tell it the way it is. I respect that Cholo Juan also tells it the way it is. So I'm going to tell him this. I send my utmost respect. Take it for what you want, Holmes. You don't need to respond, and we don't need none of that. You know, because I understand the interaction is rather unbecoming and not good for your side. But for my side, I could say this. I see you. I respect it. Keep pushing. Stay consistent. Do your thing, man. And gracias. With that being said, I hope that you guys move smooth with a purpose. Get everything that you want coming. And remember, at the end of the day, it's all about the strive to struggle and struggle to strive. I'm going to continue to do what I do regardless, man. And do it respectfully. You know? Do I got a lot of love for the southern side? I do. The northern side, abso-fucking-lutely. Like, you guys don't even know, right? Respect. Shit, I got some motherfucking stormtroopers out there, like, hitting the block for me, right? It's just good. And that's what it is. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive, struggle, strive for what I truly believe in, and that's the betterment of the raza and everybody, man. Gracias. The gun.